If you have inventory that's been sitting around for 6 months, a year or more, you're not alone. I'm going to show you how I use eBay's built-in tools to sell old inventory and free up cash. This is an easy, repeatable process, no guesswork. You just set it up and reap the rewards. I'm a full-time eBay seller, and every month I set up markdown sales depending on the age of my inventory to make sure that my inventory keeps cycling and moving. It's not a case of setting up random sales here and there. It's a repeatable process that I use based on the inventory age to keep inventory moving on a regular basis. eBay does provide quite a few tools as far as promotions go. I'm going to focus on markdown sales here because that's what I use as part of my strategy. But there are different options like coupons, doing volume pricing, discounts, order discounts based on order quantities, purchase amounts, that sort of thing, and also shipping promos. But like I said, for me, markdown sales are the key piece to my strategy, to at least my markdown strategy. And I will sprinkle the others in here and there, but we'll focus on that in another video. So I break my inventory down into 6 tiers based on date, and then assign a percentage discount accordingly. So from 0 to 59 days, I don't provide any additional discount. I just price my item at market. From 60 to 120 days, I'll apply a 15% discount. From 121 to 180 days, I'll do 25%. 181 to 240, I'll do 35%. 241 to 300 days, I'll do 50%. 301 to 365, 65%. And anything older than a year, I'll do 75%. Now the key here is these markdowns are based on my business, based on my buy cost, what worked for my business and moving inventory and that sort of thing. So it's not so much important that you copy these values. It's just that you have a strategy. So maybe you're selling something more rare and your markdowns don't even start for 6 months or more. Maybe you're selling really fast moving items, and if it doesn't move within 30 days, you want to start taking discounts and clearing it out. It just depends on your business model. So again, the importance is that you have a strategy, not that you copy these numbers. So I'm going to show you guys an example of how to set one of these up. So I'm in Seller Hub here. I'm going to go to Marketing tab, and then you see here I have the ability to create a discount. So I'm going to do Sale Event, because again, that's what I use for the markdown. I'll set up one of the tiers. So this is percentage off each item. Let's just say I'll set 15%. This one's irrelevant because of the way I'm setting this up. I'm selecting the items directly. I'm not using categories. This next one just blocks you from doing price increases. So I don't do that anyway to anything that's on sale, so it doesn't matter if that's checked. But anyway, I do this on a monthly basis. See, I'm a couple days late, so I'll set it from the beginning of the month, or in this case, the 3rd. Then I will pick the start time now, end time. I'll do the last day of the month, 11:59. Here you can name this. The buyers won't see this. This is just for you. So if you want to just call this markdown, I usually do the month. So if I May of 2025, let's just say tier 1, 15%. I like to put the buckets in as well, 60 to 120 days, just for myself. But you can literally name this anything you want, anything that makes it easier for you. Here you're going to add the items. So this will show all your listings. You'll see it'll show the number of days it's been on the site. What you can do is use the days on the site filter and do 60 to 120. So you'll see that I have 9 items that are in that category right now. So I would select all those items and add those to that sale. And you'll see the pricing that's going to be adjusted for those items. And when I hit launch, it takes a little bit for it to propagate, but it'll start the discount and start the sale, and you'll see that reflected. And then here I'll see the new sale that's just starting for that particular tier. And you can just repeat that process for each of your groupings, and you create your discounts. There is another option to do rule-based, where you can either use all of your inventory and use a price range or an item condition. You can also use eBay categories or store categories. So if you have certain parts of your store that you want to discount, maybe there's certain items you put in a discount category, and then you run the sale based off of that. You wouldn't have to manually select items. It would just run the sale based on whatever those conditions are. I don't do that for mine. I like to use just the days on site to sort that out. So you're free to set this up as complex as you want. When you do it manually like I did, it only allows up to 2,000 selections. So if you have more than 2,000 items in a certain category, then you'll want to go to rule-based, because you can do up to 20,000 items for a particular rule. So as your store grows or your category, your discount categories grow, there's a little more complexity. But for most sellers, you'll be fine to just use the days on site or whatever categories you want here to manually add your items. Same thing here. If I wanted to, let me just add this again. Let's just say I said 61 to 120. And let's just say this Under Armour item I didn't want to select. I can just uncheck that, and that wouldn't be part of the sale. So you still have some control if you want to exclude particular items. You can go in and edit this also and uncheck an item that's on sale to take it out of that sale if you need to increase the price, or if you included it by accident, that sort of thing. So you do have some flexibility, as far as even once the sale's been launched. So running these sales will help you in multiple ways. It'll add these sale badges to your items, so that'll make them stand out, brings them back from being stale listings, and it'll also trigger notifications to any watchers. So if you don't stay on top of your sending offers and that sort of thing to watchers, they will get notified if you drop the price. I think it's by at least 20%. So they'll get a notification there to come check out your store, check out that item again. So it definitely brings things back to life a bit. And then, like I said, as you go through the markdowns and continue to drop the price, maybe you didn't price it competitively to start with, where now it gets caught in one of these markdown sales and you find yourself at the market or below the market. I don't recommend overpricing your items and then running a sale, like a fake sale. That's definitely not my strategy. I try to keep it at market, but if I was off in my comps or missed something, this is definitely a way that you bring yourself back in line and you'll see those items start to move. And then again, just a strategy to your store. So I showed you guys my tiers, my breakdowns, but based on the type of items you're selling, the rarity, how fast you need to turn your inventory, you can totally adjust when the markdowns start, what the percentages are based on your buy costs, etc. Maybe you can't take as much of a markdown. Maybe you're starting at, I think it starts as low as 5%. Maybe you're doing a smaller markdown. Maybe you're letting more time pass. Maybe you're letting less time pass. It's totally up to you, and it's something you can run for a while, test, see how you feel it's moving, see if a lot of your older inventory is selling. The key here is that you're better off recovering capital after a certain point, and you have to decide what that point is. How long does it make sense for you to store these items? At some point, maybe it was a bad buy or the market changed or whatever the case may be. You're better off to get that item, the money for that item back, whether it's you recover just your cost, maybe you'll have a small loss, whatever it is, but redeploy that money in buying better items. I mean, I think for the most part, as you learn more about this business, you'll find that your newest inventory is your best inventory. And that's when you knew the most. That's when you had the most brand knowledge and that sort of stuff. So if you took something that you bought 6 months or a year ago, you didn't know what you know now, you maybe wouldn't purchase that item again, and you'd rather have the money to put it in a better place now. So that's really the key here. So hopefully this helped you guys. Hopefully you can set up your markdowns. Leave some comments below on what your strategies are, or what's worked for your store, or maybe what your plans are. And definitely subscribe. Come back for more reseller tips and haul videos and what's sold and etc. So hope to see you guys back soon. Thanks.